This is a air pump out of a '08 Tundra 5.7. It had a P1613 code. 1613 and 1614 are the two different banks. So this is usually going to be what you need. The air pump or the diverter valve under the intake gets moisture in it. And I took it apart just because this thing is 600 bucks. I was curious what could be in there for 600 bucks. It's T25 Torx screws. This one just takes off the cover, the filter in there. And just a little bit of signs of moisture, a little corrosion remains or dirt, something got in there. Screws, 4 screws. And you really don't have to take the top off, but I want to see the flat fan impeller thing in there. The motor spins, and I got I want to say 3 or 10 kilo ohm reading, so pretty much almost open circuited. This falls off the bottom, that's where your threads are in there. Then there's a rubber cover and a gasket. But just, yeah, the cover is the gasket. Motor. So I looked inside the motor and I do see a little bit of brush left, maybe half or so. So I pushed on the end of the brush with a small pick and I heard it click, so I knew the brush wasn't seated. So I sprayed it with some rust spray. The best is that ionizing stuff. So you can actually hope that it undoes some of the rusting. But I pushed it and I pulled on those brush leads a little bit just to make sure they're both free, more or less. So I freed them up. Make sure you push those brush leads back and they are not touching this case, because if both of them touch the case, you'll definitely short it out. Probably if one of them, if the positive hits the case, it'll be shorted too. So you want to make sure if you pull on those brush leads, push them back. We're going to test this thing now. Put the ground on there, power probe. Just have it on the jump pack. It's my battery basically. I'm gonna power it up. I like to make sure I have the ground, because I did have a connection problem. Sometimes I think there's a fuse in that ground lead right here, and if it's not connected in the fuse, or the fuse is popped, you won't get your ground. So make sure you have the ground there, and then power it up. I definitely did not do that before, so I believe you could get some more time out of this thing. It does have a little bit of a dry bearing sound. Spin this thing. Sounds a little rough, but it will probably work for another year or so. Ideally, you never get this corrosion. And to do that, you need the updated intake. So this pump is in the wheel well on the right front. Take off the wheel well liner and you can reach it. You'll have a lot of rust, but you can reach it there. And the updated intake snorkel just has an elbow on it so that they're not just open toward the front, and it doesn't suck in as much water. So if you put some kind of a 90-degree or something to cover that snorkel up, so it can breathe from underneath, you'll probably postpone that problem if you don't have a problem, or if you want to reuse this refurbished one by cleaning up the brush area, you could probably get some time out of it. But the water is the problem for both the diverter valve and these air pumps. And $600 is a lot of money for a little fan motor. Dorman makes one for a couple hundred, but usually Dorman stuff does not last as long as dealer stuff. Thanks for watching.